You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It used to be that calling a film a turkey was an insult. Nowadays, there's actually an audience for some of the worst movies ever made.
This movie sucks.
Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
We cannot help but love bad movies.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. I'm your host, Movie Miss, and in Season 5, I'm flying solo. I have no co-host, but I am bringing on guests because I'm not going to talk these crazy movies by myself. So today, for this film, I threw it out there, and this person jumped on it, and I'm so excited because this movie has a special place in my heart. Please welcome to the show, Nate Mayer. He is a writer and a lover of the Monster Club. Hello.
Hi there.
How are you today?
I am excellent, thank you.
I'm good. And I am so excited to jump into this movie because I'm shocked to find out The Monster Club from 1981, starring Vincent Price.
I will take you to a place where my friends foregather. There you will find stories of such blood-curdling terror it will make your toes curl and your hair reach up towards the sky. He likes to take you by surprise. He likes to leave a very special calling card. It was the best blood I have ever tasted. He's giving you a very special invitation. 3 stories to shock you. Chill you, thrill you, and make you laugh. Everybody knows about garlic and stakes through the heart. Yes, we all have our cross to bear. I'm just a sucker for your love. I'm just a sucker for...
You are one of his kind now. You have to be staked by your own men.
You've been invited to the Monster Club. Come at your peril.
British film, and not a lot of people know this movie. Not even back when it was out.
Well, this is it. It's one of those movies that I think it's fair to say is like a cult movie. And it's weird because I don't think it's officially one of the actual Amicus movies, but it's by the same guy who was doing the Amicus movies.
Mm-hmm.
It got nowhere near as much attention as like the mainstream Amicus stuff.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research on that, and this was either the last film for Amicus or it was the one that was right after they dissolved or were not doing film, and people attribute this to killing it, which I thought so mean.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's technically not by Amicus. It is, as I said, by the guy who did it.
Okay.
It is kind of significantly different in terms of format. Like, it does follow the anthology format that a lot of the Amicus movies did.
Mm-hmm.
But also, as we'll see when we get on, there's a few extra bits they put in, which might have been to try and make it appeal to a younger audience.
I think so.
Yeah.
So the film, like you said, anthology. We can discuss it on the show today because technically, even though I love it, you like it, it's a turkey, because even though the critics gave it a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, the audiences only gave it a 39. I'm a little bummed by that. I think this needs to be higher.
Yeah, but that said, some of my all-time favorite movies, very low scoring in the general opinion.
Fair. Me too.
Yeah. I watch a lot of old and deliberately terrible horror movies. So
Yes, I am aware and I'm so excited because I'm the same way. What is your relationship to this? Like, when is the first time you saw this? Was it early on in its run?
so I'm not quite that old. This movie predates me by a couple of years, but back when I was a lot younger, about 10, 11, 12, there was a TV show on the BBC, and it was late at night on a Friday. So, just school nights, well, late at night, early morning. And they would do a double bill of old horror movies, like from 80s and before, where I saw a lot of the Hammer horror, the Amicus, a lot of the classic American horror movies like Friday the 13th, April Fool's Day, that kind of thing. It would show these as well. Yeah, so as I say, it probably would have been a good like 10, 15 years after its release I first saw it. But this and all the anthology horror movies, especially the Amicus ones, have such a special place in my heart.
So for me, same thing. It was probably I was maybe about 9 or 10, and that would have been a few years after this came out. And we had a show on Sunday mornings here in America called Movie Macabre with Elvira was the host, and she would show bad movies and comment, in between. So I was at my grandparents' house, and my grandma would like make breakfast and be in the other room, and I'd sneak and turn the TV on, and I'd watch Movie Macabre when I absolutely should not have been. And I remember that was the first time I saw this. Ever since then, the first time I could buy it on DVD or VHS or whatever, I did. And I've owned a copy my whole life. And I always try to expose people to it because not only does it have that Hammer, feel and the vibe and the way it's shot, it's an anthology, which I think is fun. Vincent Price, which I think is fun. I don't know. I just feel like this movie's fun and people are missing out on a good time by not watching it.
On a slightly plus note to that, though, you mentioned this movie may have, some people credit it with killing Amicus. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Amicus is making a comeback.
Really?
Yeah. They recently wrapped their first new movie in 40 years, In the Grip of Terror.
Whoa.
I backed it on Kickstarter, so I'm waiting for the Blu-ray to arrive.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's the classic formula. Obviously, the only thing I can say against it, and this is obviously not the movie's fault, is it's just lacking the classic actors you would see in pretty much every Amicus movie one way or another. But yeah, Amicus are making a comeback, and hopefully for many years to come.
That is so cool. Took them long enough.
Oh yeah.
So for this one, you mentioned there is source material. It is from a book. Do you know of it? Have you read it?
So I have not read the book, but it's based on the stories of
the author for this is R. Chetwynd Hayes.
That's R. Chetwynd Hayes, who in the movie is played by John Carradine. Yeah. I've not actually read the stories themselves, but we'll get onto it later about a few things as we get into the plot. But I've not actually read the original stories.
Okay, so because I was putting this on my radar last year, trying to get this on my wish list for somebody to cover it with me, I did seek out the book and buy it and read it last year. And it's not, I hate to say this, I mean, God bless you, R. Chetwynd Hayes, but he's not the best writer. Like, it was a little bit of an odd read, though, his writing style for me. But I did enjoy seeing the stories on the page. Like, they're very similar, and there's some big differences too. So it's a fun read if you can seek it out. I think I
I'll give it a look, I reckon.
Yeah, I think I just got it off Amazon, if I'm being honest. I don't think I had to look hard. Okay, so with all that said, just off the top, would you recommend this for listeners to check this out?
Yes, without question. I have subjected all of my friends to this movie, and I can say that they have unequivocally loved it.
I was going to say, are they still your friends?
Oh, yeah. Because I have infected them with the terrible movie virus. And while I do not consider this to be a terrible movie, I genuinely love this movie. It very much circulates in that kind of environment. So
Yeah, 100%. Anybody I've shown this to has enjoyed it, and I'm so happy. So I definitely recommend listeners that you seek this out. So if you want to pause here and watch the movie if you've never seen it, and then come on back and listen to the rest of our conversation, it is currently at the time of this recording streaming for free in the US on Tubi and Pluto. And there's other places, where you can pay for it, YouTube and whatnot. So with all of that said, I think we should jump into the plot.
Such as it is.
Right? They did have just a quick mention, written by Edward and Valerie Abraham, adapted, their London screenwriters, directed by Roy Ward Baker. This was his last film, I think I saw on IMDb. And then a little nugget of information I found also was Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee both turned down the John Carradine role. They seem like hammer choices, like obvious choices, right?
See, Peter Cushing would have been absolutely spot on for it. I would have loved to have seen Peter Cushing. But at the same time, I understand. I get it.
Yeah. All right. So this is, like we mentioned, an anthology, but the wraparound story is very cleverly done, I thought, for this film. The movie begins with title card and a cold open, which anybody that knows me knows I love a good cold open. Let's just get right to it.
Exactly. I do most of my writing in that style.
Oh, okay. So credits are rolling, and we get our wraparound story of author R. Chetwynd Hayes, John Carradine. He passes a bookstore window with a display of his photo and all the things he's written. He's startled by Vincent Price saying he's famished and hasn't eaten in 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm not a vampire, so
yeah,
that seems like a long time to go.
I will be pretty hungry after 2 weeks, to be fair.
Right? He says he'll do anything he can to help him, so the man takes a bite out of his neck, and we fade to black. And then when we come back, both men are sitting in the alley having a chat. And
as you do.
As you do. And the thing I noticed too, and I felt so bad for him, I didn't realize Carradine had like crippling arthritis in his hands.
Yep.
And it wasn't just in his later years, it was on set earlier. And his hands are just so deformed looking that it's a little distracting to me. Like my eyes always go to his hands, and I feel terrible.
I get that, because that is a clear case of either rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis, or both. And it is one of those things that you shouldn't, but it does kind of drag your attention.
It's distracting.
Now, this is probably going to make your reaction awkward, but as someone who actually does have that condition, it's especially distracting for me as well. Now, mine's medication controlled, so
your hands look good. Okay. You're good. Okay.
Just like a little bit of swelling on my thumbs. I am fine, but for someone to be dealing with that is
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel horrible even thinking that, but it I can't help, my eyes gravitate to it. But God bless him, he figured it out. Like he does stuff. You watch him like pick up a glass and like do all the things, and I'm like, good for him.
Doesn't slow him down at all.
Yeah. So Vincent Price introduces himself here as a vampire named Aramis, and he tells Hayes he's a huge fan of him being a horror author. And I always get like, oh, he's like a Stephen King or something, our Chetwynd Hayes, I guess, in this world. He wants to get him material for his new horror book. So he wants to do him a solid and bring him to the Monster Club.
Yes.
You couldn't come up with a better name.
I mean, it is what it is, Like,
a little on the nose.
It's advertising.
It is as advertised. It's a little on the nose, but yeah. So we cut to the song Monsters Rule Okay.
Yeah, which is so aggressively 80s British.
That's the one thing about the music in this film. And we get a solid 3 minutes of this song.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They pad the runtime with the music in this film, which I'll comment every time we get to it. I don't hate the songs in this movie. There's just one that we'll get to that bugs me. But all the rest of the music in this film, I really enjoy.
Yeah, can't argue with that. The thing I do like about this scene is you get like the shot of all the monsters in the club, and they clearly just went and raided the local Halloween store. Like, and bear in mind, in 81, we didn't have Halloween stores.
My joke is like, oh, they went to Party City, but no, they really didn't.
No, They would have been going to joke shops and costume shops and trying to track down as many masks as they could.
They did, though. They cleaned out London, I think, because there is so much going on in this scene.
Oh yeah, like they put the effort in. Well, I say effort's a broad term. They found a lot of masks.
Giving them credit.
Yeah.
So the lead singer of this band on stage, I want to say the band, oh, I didn't write the name down. Oh, I'm terrible. Well, anyway, this band, the lead singer looks like Styles from the movie Teen Wolf from the 80s. I was like, I think I know this guy. All the rubber masks, everybody's dancing. And then they had one, it looked like one guy who's, I think, a werewolf who looks like he has actual like spirit gum and hair like stuck to his face. Like they did an effort to do more makeup on him than put a mask on him. I appreciated that effort.
Yeah, or he was eating a lolly and he tripped into a shag pile carpet, one or the other.
So yeah, I couldn't find a budget for this film anywhere. So God knows what they spent.
Yeah, I don't think the director could either.
He called in a lot of favors, probably. So the men are sitting and ordering drinks, and I didn't understand when this is where I was like, what? Aramis the vampire says he's famished, hasn't eaten in 2 weeks, yet he can stroll into this monster club and order a cup of blood anytime he wants, apparently.
Yeah.
So how is he famished? I was like, what? But yeah, and then they bring tomato juice so that Carradine won't look out of place sitting in there as a human. And his glass of juice looks exactly like Aramis's glass of blood.
Yeah, if you never had blood drawn and it looked exactly like tomato juice, come on.
So they chat a bit, and then Aramis gets up to break down a chart, which I found a picture of, and listeners, I will post it on social media because it's crazy if you've never seen this movie. A monster genealogy chart.
So there is one thing as well, because Aramis, he does mention that it's become quite difficult in recent years with the prevalence of horror movies and people being more aware of, garlic and crucifixes and, not giving vampires permission to enter. Here's the thing, though. That is remarkably unprecedented because this was, I think, it was a few years after the release of Interview with the Vampire, the book. So let's face it, in the new age, especially if you've been around book talk for any length of time, they're not short of people who volunteer.
It's true.
People be into that.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not going to kink shame.
Hey,
go for it.
Whatever you're into, it's fine,
That's fine.
Yeah.
So so he breaks down the genealogy stuff. Werewolves, vampires, and ghouls basically are the top of the chain. And then you get all the crossbreeding of all the different species all the way down to the bottom. And he points out the very bottom is called a shadmock, which until this movie, never heard of that in my life. So I was impressed that there was something new.
That is actually an original creation of Chetwin Hines not necessarily for this, but from his story. One thing I do want to go over, though, there is, he does explain, the genealogy and everything and what happens when any of the other monsters interbreed with each other. They've got this wonderful, simple way of remembering what each of the monsters generally do.
Yes. And, what was that? Do you remember?
I wrote it down because, man, it's good. We start with the various things. You've got vampires, werewolves, ghouls, shaddies, maddies, mocks, and shadmocks. So we've got vampires suck, werewolves hunt, ghouls tear. Shaddies lick. Okay, if you're into that, we don't get, what they lick or where they lick, but I suspect they may be more popular than the others. Maddies yawn, mocks blow, probably more popular than the shaddies, to be fair, but shadmocks only whistle. And not to give anything away, but shadmocks only whistle is burying the fucking lead a bit.
And it doesn't sound threatening at all, honestly.
No, not at all.
No. And then that's the first story we get, actually, is the shadmock, because that's intriguing. They whistle. Okay, how is this going to be scary?
Yeah. Another interesting story on that genealogy chart, though, it's got the pictures and everything. The picture of the shadmock was actually drawn by the artist before they cast the role.
Get out of here. It looks just like him.
Uh-huh. And originally they were going to cast the artist in the role of the shadmock until they found the actor they got, who by sheer coincidence looked exactly like the drawing.
So that actor playing the character Raven is James Lawrenson. And looks just like the picture.
Yep.
Wow. And I want to say that chart is in the book, I'm pretty sure. Now that I think about it, I'll have to go back and look, but that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Aramis now proceeds to tell the tale of the man who saw the results of a Shadmock's whistle.
Yeah.
So at 10 minutes in, we're jumping right into these anthology stories, which this movie is brisk for an hour, 44-minute film. It flies by, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we get a man in a padded cell, straight jacket, staring blankly ahead. Doctors say he's been this way for 6 months. And then we cut to 6 months earlier. A couple looking for a scam job, basically. They don't work real jobs. But if you're looking through the newspaper for a scam job, how about just look through the newspaper for a real job? I don't know.
Exactly right,
But I love this woman, this actress, Angela. It's Barbara Kellerman. She, I think, in this just crazy movie, does such a good job of being realistic. Like, I fully believe her emotional journey, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. She gives an absolutely shining performance in this, especially considering the script.
Right? The script leaves a little to be desired, but yeah, her performance is just chef's kiss. She nails this. She goes to this spooky house to apply for a job of cataloging antiques, and it's this palatial estate. And again, I couldn't find any filming information on this movie, so I don't know where this is. I don't suppose you have any idea?
I don't know specifically, but to be fair, those kind of buildings, not uncommon in England.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Stately homes, yeah, we've got loads of them.
Okay. So I'll be coming over to England next month, apparently, because this is my kind of digs. I love this place. So, okay, this also was weird. He says people can't work for him when he meets her because of the way he has his appearance. They can't get past his appearance.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to put a picture of him on socials for the listeners. I don't see the problem. Do you? I don't.
The thing is that this movie really bigs up that he is going to be some kind of hideous Quasimodo abomination. Like, a Shadmock is what happens when any of the supposed mongrels of the monster species mix with each other. So he's supposed to be like this monstrous genetic degenerate thing.
Like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, and he's got a dodgy haircut.
And he's a little pale.
Yeah, that's it. Seriously, a trip to the barber, new suit, probably brush his teeth, I'm guessing, and he'd be fine.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, we share the same brain because I was thinking all the same things looking at him. I'm like, what's the problem? He just needs a little glow up and he'll be fine.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like, the amount of the admittedly limited budget they put into getting rubber masks for all the people in the club, couldn't have spent a little extra on a couple of prosthetics here and there for Raven?
Yes. And also, we don't even really know his name either. I mean, I had to look it up in the credits.
Yeah. I don't think he ever actually mentions his own name.
No. So the boyfriend forces her to take this job with him to try to steal from him, even though she says he's terrifying after just seeing him.
Yeah.
But this is also a sad story because he says he's very lonely because he can't be around people. And the music lends to the moodiness and the sadness.
Oh, yeah. It's such an emotional sting. He's like trying to explain just like how terribly lonely he's been, shut up in his house full of like centuries worth of cool shit, you know?
He's got some pretty cool shit in his house, though, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely.
So over the next few months, we get some montage of the Shadmock and her, and they're working. He uses his whistle to kill the cat that killed some bird friends of his on his lawn.
Okay, so here's the thing with that, though, right? He's previously mentioned to her, that like the dangerous thing is he mustn't whistle. Doesn't tell you what it does. He just says, I mustn't whistle, very cryptically. And he's been feeding these pigeons, and then cat, being a cat, cats are dicks, kills one of his pigeon friends.
You don't have cats?
I don't have cats. I know people who do, and they admit cats are dicks. So he whistles at the cat, which leads me to a few questions because let's be clear on this one. The Shadmock's whistle fucking microwaves the cat. Yeah. Which leads me to a few questions as to, like, abilities need to be defined for me. You know, I'm a writer. I need to work these things out. What are the limits on this? When he whistles, does it only work on living things? Can he microwave his lasagna? If if he goes to the loo and he's kind of looking down and casually whistling, is that going to be a problem? You know?
So you're saying you need a spin-off film, Life of a Shadmock, so we understand
Absolutely.
how he lives his life.
Yeah. Is it like one particular note? Or if he were to whistle like, Yankee Doodle or Hall of the Mountain King or something, is it going to have different levels of toastiness? Like, what I'm saying is, does he have a future as a chef?
Private parties only. Yes, I think he
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
I think he does. Because nobody can look at him. He's got to hide in the back.
Yeah. I mean,
good
to be
Lord.
fair, having worked as a chef, that's one of the benefits of it.
Hide in the back.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dish that you make?
My favorite dish that I made when I was actually as a chef, I was mostly doing pizzas. So I think my favorite one was what I used to call a barbecue chicken pizza. And that is garlic butter, barbecue sauce, barbecue chicken, peppers, and red onion.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
But at home, when I'm actually cooking for myself, my favorite one to do is either Japanese curry or what I call not chili. And the reason it's called not chili is because I don't like overly spicy food and I don't like kidney beans. Therefore, it's not chili.
One would argue that chili is actually only chili if it's all meat and no beans. So you do have that going for you.
Yeah, but I put baked beans in, so
Oh, okay. Well, there goes that.
Yeah.
Still sounds good though. So the cat, like you
Mhm.
said, microwaved, right? Flat, black, smoking, singed.
Yep.
But it looks like almost like a cartoon, it's a shadow, like just a flat outline of a cat on the ground, basically.
Yeah, they got a small fur rug and set light to it.
Yes, exactly. And then when he's doing the whistle too, one thing that grosses me out is I'm just it's my own pet peeve is I don't like close-ups on people's mouths, like when they're talking, kissing, chewing, like in film. I don't want a close up on somebody's mouth, and they do a close up on him with his pursed lips doing the whistle.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. And also, like, because obviously they had to do the whistlers Foley. I don't know if like this is a thing from your childhood, but from me at school, the major communication like in the playground between teachers and students was a pee whistle.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And like that sound is just someone blowing hard on a pee whistle. And so for me, there's nothing creepy about that sound. It's more annoying than anything because it's like, oh God, what do they want now?
Yeah, I don't find it creepy at all, except for the visual part. Like we don't need to zoom in.
Yeah, the visuals are pretty bad, but the actual sound, it's literally just someone going ham on a whistle.
Just a whistle. Yep. Yeah, not even a human sound, a whistle. Like it's clearly an actual whistle. So then we see Angela and Raven interacting, being friendly. He falls for her. He buys her flowers. He proposes to her. The boyfriend forces her to accept this proposal. She doesn't want to do it, which makes me love her.
Yeah, like be very clear on this one as well. She is absolutely against it because not only like it's not just a case of I don't want to marry him because I don't fancy him. She genuinely doesn't want to break his heart.
Yep. Makes me endeared to her immediately with that. Like, oh my God, she's a good person. Her boyfriend, not so much.
Oh no, her boyfriend's a legitimate cockwit, but
Yes. I don't like him from the second we see his face when he's in that straitjacket. I just want to slap his face. He just looks like an ass.
Oh yeah. Complete arsehole from the start, yeah.
So we see her watch him memorize. Oh, he's opening his safe and she memorizes the safe combination so that she can open it later and steal some goodies. He puts a ring on her finger, says they're going to have an engagement party. And then we get the masquerade party, which I love in any movie.
The masks they go for.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, because the reason he gives, which is fair enough, is that he thinks that she might not take very well to his relatives. And okay, fair enough, because
Right. They might be
his relatives,
scary looking.
yeah, like they're going to be some form of other members of the monster hierarchy, so that's fine. But yeah, he's basically just wearing what looks like a vacuform clear plastic, like
Yes.
like,
Yeah, it looks like just a clear face cover where you can still. But what's weird about it is the hairy other uncle or whatever who's got a lot of facial hair. He's trying to wear this, and it's not quite sitting on his face right, so you can see him. It's not hiding him at all.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And when they breathe, it fogs up. It steams up on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And all I thought was, how wet and uncomfortable is that? He can't breathe, probably.
I don't know if it is what they were using. And in all honesty, I don't even know if this is a legit thing, but I've seen it in movies and TV, usually from like 60s, 70s, 80s, is if you got someone who suffered facial burns, they would use a mask like that to basically keep the burns hydrated to stop them drying out so they could heal properly. And it just makes me think of that, you know?
That makes so much sense because it's so moist under the
Yeah.
mask.
So I'm wondering if like they've just got a job lot of those off like the 80s equivalent of eBay.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to learn anything new, but here I am. Okay.
Oh, I'm a font of useless knowledge.
So the one theme throughout this that he keeps saying to her is, you could still love me. Basically, in spite of my appearance, in spite of my relative, in spite of everything, you could still love me. That's this theme that he keeps hammering home with her.
Yeah. In spite of being massively rich.
Right. To be fair, that's the thing I thought was, what are you doing with this asshole guy? You need to be with Raven. You don't have to love him. You could love his money. You could love his house. I don't know. She should have just went that route, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the party happens. Angela, I think, looks gorgeous. Everything seems to be going fine. She slips out of the party, goes through the safe. He shows up and catches her and says, hey, you know what? Take it. If it'll make you happy, you can have it all. You could still love me. She goes from 0 to 10, 0 to 100, and freaks the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
Was this felt like a mild overreaction. You're horrible. And she's screaming at him.
Yeah, like right in his face. Not like calmly saying, like, I'll let you down gently. I'm sorry. This was a scam. I'm sorry you ended up feeling this way for me. I don't reciprocate. Yeah. She just straight up goes right up in his face almost. Yeah. Being like, I could never love you. You're hideous. You're disgusting. I will say, though, I get that he's heartbroken. I get that it's unpleasant. He does go slightly over the top here. It is not a healthy reaction because he's clearly used to rejection and being on his own.
Yeah.
So for him to go and, you know, obviously, as it turns out, microwave her as well.
But just on the surface, see. Doesn't flatten her.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is it because, you know, we have to, because with quite a lot of these anthology movies, the whole thing is a theme of poetic justice, people getting what they deserve. I would argue that Angela absolutely does not get what she deserves in this.
Agreed.
Yeah. Angela's only crime in this one is having shit-tasting men.
Well, I guess she needed to learn a lesson, I guess.
Yeah,
really, ultimately,
not that hard a lesson.
Agreed, because he whistles and burns the shit out of her because she goes home and is chanting, you could still love me, while walking creepily toward that boyfriend who goes comatose from just in shock from seeing her.
Yeah.
So my thought is maybe he didn't completely kill her like the cat because he wanted to force her to suffer. I mean, he didn't know she was going to go home and traumatize the boyfriend.
Yeah, that's even worse though.
But I feel like that's the end for the means. Like, you needed to get to him he's the one that needs to suffer, basically.
Yeah, but the problem is Raven doesn't know about him.
We do,
so. Well, but this is the thing though. For that to be his logic, he would need to know it. He's just permanently disfigured this poor woman whose only crime, again, shit-tasting men. She says several times she doesn't want to like do this job. She offers like we could go find someone else. We could do something else. And the boyfriend is always no. It needs to be this guy. We need to get the money, whatever, from him. Like if anyone deserves a light toasting, it's the boyfriend.
Light toasting. Yes, this is true. But he ends up shocked and traumatized, and we never find out what happened to her. Did they whisk her off to the burn unit, or what? What happened there?
Yeah, exactly. This is it. Like her tail just drops right there.
But it's very sad, I think, versus scary. This isn't scary in any way. It's just super sad.
Yeah. The last scene we get of Raven, though, is he's surrounded by his family, crying, mourning his own loss, which, let's be clear again, entirely his own fault. Didn't have to go whistling. Just saying.
It's true. So true.
But yeah, as you say, this one is more of an emotional plea rather than straight up horror.
Yes, agreed.
It is slightly horrific when we get the close-up of his mouth, because that happens the second time.
That's the most horrifying part of the entire film.
Yeah.
Because I cheer when the cat gets melted, because I'm not a cat person, so I'm always like, get him. Get the cat.
In fairness, I've known some perfectly adorable cats. But for the most part,
all right.
Yeah.
I suppose we can
As
still be
previously
friends.
mentioned,
It's fine.
cats are dicks.
They're the assholes of the animal kingdom. I firmly stand behind them. All right. So so I was going to say this one is the emotional story. The second story to me, I think, is the comedy beat story. And then the third one is arguably the most scary of the three. I like that in an anthology, a little bit of different stuff happening.
Yeah. And this is a weird one as well, because in previous Amicus movies, it was usually 4 stories and occasionally 5.
Oh.
Yeah, this one just went for 3 for whatever reason.
Oh, interesting. Maybe so they could just have them be longer, maybe?
The general runtime is usually about like the hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes kind of mark for them. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we cut back now at the end of that to the club, and a new song is starting from another band. And this slurping performance by the front man into the microphone.
Yeah.
It gets muted every time. I cannot listen to this.
Not at all. It's the worst kind of ASMR.
Yes. It is called Sucker for Your Love. The song is by B.A. Robertson, who's uncredited. And apparently, a Turkeyverse connection here. We've covered the movie, The Pirate Movie, and I guess he also wrote a song for that movie, which I thought was wild. But when I hear Sucker for Your Love, I just want somebody to take this song and the song by the Jonas Brothers and mix them together and make a mashup. That's what we didn't know we needed. I feel like that needs to happen. But this song and performance goes for a solid 3.5 minutes. Once again, padding the runtime, I guess. The camera work when they're performing with the zooming in and out, and I was so dizzy. What are your thoughts on this band, this song, this scene?
This is basically a Polaroid of a certain very brief genre of music in like the late 70s into the mid 80s, and it was like horror themed pop and rock. And this is just so indicative of it. As you say, you got like the slurping noises, and it's all going on about vampires and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It just really dates the movie to that particular period of time, around I'm not sure how it was in America. Over here we called it the Video Nasties era.
Right. I'm aware.
Yeah, like all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was sort of a subculture like reference to that. It was actually like at the time it was a pretty big thing over here. But unfortunately the actual quality of the song leaves a little bit to be desired. Like,
agreed.
It has a look, it has a sound. This isn't the track from this movie that made me want to go and find the band.
Yeah, there's a full soundtrack for this movie that you can go get, which I thought was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, after this performance, we get the club's secretary, who's the werewolf I was talking about, with like the hair stuck to his face, like he's not a full mask. It's so distracting that he's got these fake plastic teeth in, and he's trying to speak through the teeth, and he can't really open his mouth.
Yeah, because it's not like porcelain tooth caps or anything. He's clearly got cheap plastic fangs, which I have such a vivid childhood memory of, because they were readily available around Halloween in so many shops, even like corner shops, because it was like the easiest way of dressing your kid up for Halloween. And he can't speak through these things because they're clearly over the top of his natural teeth.
Right.
He's trying so hard.
He is. And to me, we're making fun of it, but that is the charm of this movie, honestly.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So he says that the next act is a vampire film producer, and the guy comes out and he intros a snippet they're going to see from his next film based on his childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So the film rolls, and we see a mother and son, and this actress is Britt Eklund, who I am on a recent journey to get through all the Bond films, and I was like, hey, I know her from Man with the Golden Gun. It was so fun to see her in this.
Yeah, she was a very popular actress at the time. Still, I don't know if she's still acting. She's still around now. She was mostly known for the whole like blonde bombshell thing for the most part.
Yeah.
So not to be derogatory to her, because she's actually genuinely a great actress. She's done a lot of fantastic roles. But at the time, very rare to see her dressed.
I believe it. I believe it. And playing this role of the sad mother married to a vampire, like sort of opposite of what she usually would do.
Mm-hmm.
So the father is a vampire, the mother and the son, they all live in this house. She sends the boy off to school. He gets bullied. He gets stopped by Donald Pleasance.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, didn't really realize who he was, what he'd been in, really much about him, especially when I'm a child. Now I'm like, wow, this is like right after Escape from New York and Halloween. Like, I love him in this.
That's one of the things I really love. And it shows you a lot about these kind of movies in general, like Hammer Horror, Amicus, just like the British horror movies at the time. A lot of the same actors did a lot of different roles. And it just shows you Donald Pleasance's full range, because obviously he was Dr. Loomis in Halloween, diagnosing Michael Myers with chronic evil. And then he was obviously in The Great Escape. He was one of the incarnations of Blofeld, in fact, the most popular incarnation of Blofeld in James Bond.
Just discovered that.
So many different roles throughout horror. In fact, not just British horror. Have you seen a movie called Phenomena?
Yes, Argento and young Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
I just watched it last year. Yep.
Oh man, that movie's a trip.
Him and that monkey, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. Try and guess what's going to happen in that plot. I defy you.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way.
Because I've watched so many horror movies over the years, usually I know exactly what's going to happen. Not a chance in that movie.
Yeah. No, and that's what's fun to me with trying to seek out these quote unquote bad, lesser seen horror movies too, is the fun of trying to figure out where they're going to go. Because some of them are formula and some of them are batshit crazy. There's no way.
Yeah.
Okay, so Loomis and his men. So they carry around these violin cases.
He's called Pickering in this.
Pickering. Okay, thank you. I was just going to call him Loomis, so thank you. So Pickering. Okay. I felt like that was a familiar thing too that I've heard before.
It's both a place and just a general name in England.
Okay, so it's just common. Okay, because I was like, I know I've heard that. So the vampire dad, tells the son, beware of men carrying violin cases. And then we see that Pickering and his men all have them. I do like the family bonding in this story and the cheeky humor. I like the Godfather soundtrack that plays whenever the men with the violin cases are on screen.
So, because the thing is, like, I love this take on vampires, because I, generally speaking, enjoy anything that puts a twist on something that's, a really old, well-established thing. Because, vampires have been different throughout the whole thing. But when you take something like vampires, werewolves, whatever, and make them mundane, as they do in this, they're just a family, just trying to get by, Yeah. Kids going to school, wearing a school uniform that I remember wearing, have terrible memories of all the static from the synthetic fibers. And I just love it when you get those twists from something so fantastic as vampires, with all their strength and shapeshifting, to just a family somewhere in England, just being a family.
Yeah. And Pickering and his men have dedicated their lives to vanquishing the species. And so they go to the house and they go downstairs and find the dad in his coffin. They take out of the violin case this wooden stake and a mallet, and the wife and son stand there and scream and see as Pickering hammers it right through his chest. And I love the humor in this story, and I haven't pointed out any other bits, but in this part, the two guys that are with him are like smiling and nodding him on as he's doing it, like, good job, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
on,
silly.
Doing a good job there, sir. And the thing is as well, like you mentioned they pull out the hammer and the stake. Let's be clear, this stake is probably a good, 2.5 foot long. It's like a sharpened table leg.
Yes.
Like
it's huge.
Yeah.
And you think this vampire's done for. There's no way. He hammers that shit at least halfway into his chest.
Oh yeah, like that's got to have nailed him into the coffin.
Yeah, yes. But no, he survives and he bites Pickering, and his men gleefully kill him because, he shows fangs all of a sudden. And I thought, well, that's different vampire lore. He just magically suddenly becomes a vampire because he just got bit on the neck.
Yeah. An interesting thing on that one is this is the first time for me that I'd ever heard of vampirism being transferred as a virus, which was an interesting take on it to me. Yeah, the idea that it's like a transformative virus, kind of like people say for like zombies or whatever. That was an interesting take. And also the explanation of how he survived. He was wearing a stake-proof vest, which he always wears. And the massive bloodstain is merely tomato ketchup.
And I thought, that's fine. That's clever. I can let that go. However, half of that stake went into his chest.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know.
But the other thing to that is, well, as you say, like there's a bit of a chase that ensues as Pickering's trying to say, like, yeah, I'm the best vampire killer who ever was. I've been in, they call themselves the Bleeny, which is probably a reference to the Sweeney, which is like here in England, it was a name for one or other sections of the police. I can't remember exactly which it was, but that's like a UK in joke.
Okay. Probably why I didn't get it.
Yeah. As I say, like Bleeny versus Sweeney, because Bleeny is also those stupid little bits of toast you get that you stick caviar on.
Okay. Something else I just learned. Okay.
Yeah. Also, caviar's disgusting. Fish flavored grit. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So there's this chase that ensues, and obviously Pickering gets staked. And to really like emphasize the point of this as well, when they're carrying him out on the stretcher, that stake is a good like foot out of his back. Like it is right through him.
And I thought his death scene too on the stairs was very subtle, but it gave me a callback of Paul Rubens in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. His death scene. I was like, oh, vampire death on the stairs. But yeah, so when the stake is all the way out, I'm like, how did it not kill the guy in the coffin? But whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's cheeky. This one's meant to be silly, especially out of them. And it was just the dad, wanting to keep his family together and stay alive, and the happy family, happy music at the end, and the film wraps. Back in the club, we get a new song now called The Stripper. Aramis and Hayes are at the table and chatting some more, but Hayes is like, I need to go. I need to peace out. And Aramis is like, no, hold on. Don't go yet.
The entertainment's starting.
Yes, that I wrote that in my notes in big letters. The entertainment is starting, but it's like, wait a minute. Hasn't it already been going on?
Yeah, exactly.
The sucker song.
I will say that genuinely this song, fucking tune. I love this song. Honestly, because it's by the band Night, featuring Stevie Langer. Genuinely, she is an amazing vocalist.
So I wrote in my notes, looking like a young Kathleen Turner, sounding like Nancy Wilson if she was a light smoker. This chick has it. I love her.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, she's got the voice, she's got the presence. This is a freaking amazing track. The thing about it is, though, that the band Night were only around for about 2 years or so at the start of the 80s. Well, like 79, 80, 81. and they had 2 albums. This song is on neither of them.
Well, you're going to have to seek out the Monster Club soundtrack, apparently, if you
Yeah,
want this song.
That's the only place you can find it, apparently. Like the
Wow.
OST for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this song. It's fun. I'm happy it's in the film. I love what they do with it. Halfway through the song, we get a woman who comes out and actually starts stripping. But when she's almost naked, she turns into a cartoon silhouette that peels off her skin until she's a dancing skeleton.
Yeah. And then
it's so cheeky. I love it.
But then we cut back to Aramis and Chetwin Haynes, and Aramis remarks, "Wonderful bone structure," and Chetwin Haynes just replies, "Magnificent." Now, again, no king shaming. If you're into that, fine. But you've just watched a woman remove her clothes, then her flesh.
Yeah, we see it in silhouette, but I'm assuming they don't. They're seeing the show. It's very bizarre, indeed.
It is, yeah.
And he doesn't seem fazed by it.
Like, not in the slightest. Like,
nope.
That is just apparently, like, of everything that's going on there in the Monster Club, this is the first thing he's actually given a real commentary on, even if it is only the word magnificent. But it's like, I know there's a whole thing about, beauty standards and stuff, but even for me, that's a bit thin.
That is beyond.
Yeah.
So she finishes, and then the band, the lead singer steps back out, and they finish their performance. We get the full 5-minute song, the whole song.
Yeah.
Again, not mad at it. I like the song. Back at the table, Hayes now asks Aramis if the girl at the bottom of the chart now, below the Shadmock, what is it? She's called a Humgoo. What is a Humgoo? Of course, Aramis, it's a human and a ghoul. To me, she looks like modern day actress Carla Gugino, who's in all the Mike Flanagan stuff, and she was in The Watchmen, Spy Kids. She looks just like this actress, and so that's all I can think of every time I see her. But this girl, Luna, Leslie Dunlop, she doesn't appear to have done anything else or much of anything else, but she's so delightful in this.
Not in terms of movies.
Okay.
In TV over here, she's been in a load of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's actually like quite a well-known actress over there.
Oh, I love that for her. Okay, because she's delightful in this.
Oh yeah, she is spot on.
So Aramis tells him Humgoos are not dangerous and they're not interesting. Okay.
Except potentially for the taste for he specifically says carrion.
Yes.
Which is it's a very specific term because that's functionally roadkill or anything that's just like a dead body lying around. We do elaborate on that later in the story.
Yes. So this tale starts with a film director whom I guess is modeled after real life directors, because they show this guy just being a control freak and a complete dick about having control of his film set, and he wants to know where they're shooting. And okay. At first, though, you think that they're filming a vampire scene. We get a fake out because they film a girl coming down the stairs very much in Hammer horror style. And it's not. It's him filming his movie, and he's looking for a spooky location. And he's unhappy with the location scout. He's pissed off. He's going to find it himself. So, okay, bro. You immediately don't like this guy. But I don't think we're meant to.
No, that's the thing. Like, he's meant to be one of those ones that you immediately take against.
So he stumbles across, as he's driving around, an area where he crosses a bridge, and he goes through this thick blanket of fog.
Yeah.
Nope. That's turn around. That's my signal to turn around.
I mean, yeah, but also it's England, so not necessarily that weird.
I keep forgetting that. That is fair. But the blue hue over everything should also be a tip off, right? Like he went from sunny highway through the fog into blue hued, gloomy town.
Yeah, that's most towns in England.
So at the inn he drives up to, he is greatly outnumbered by a creepy looking bunch of people. And the innkeeper tells him, you have to stay the night. It's too dangerous to go. And I thought, he didn't drive that far to get here.
No.
It can't be that far to turn around and go back, but okay.
It's sort of like rural England's equivalent of Silent Hill.
Would watch. That sounds fun, actually.
I mean, to be fair, Sean Bean was in the Silent Hill movie.
It's true.
And
Did
interestingly,
he die
didn't
right away in that one too?
He didn't die at all.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't understand why this guy, I mean, I do understand that for storytelling purposes, we have to have him live for a while, but I don't understand really why this guy would survive more than 2 minutes because they surround him. You think they tear into him immediately. But
yeah, you would assume so.
Yeah, but they don't.
But then we wouldn't have a movie, so, you know.
Right.
At this point, he's got a little bit of plot armor.
So he goes out, tries to get in his car and take off, but he realizes that somebody has torn the wires out of his something disconnected in his engine, and he's not going anywhere. So he goes upstairs at the inn, and then we meet Luna, and she's the daughter of the innkeeper. She says, I brought you some rabbit stew.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we buy that this is actually rabbit stew based on what we know?
The thing is, she does explain that rabbits do get killed and they do get eaten. So, you know, and to be fair, we do have a lot of rabbits in England. As to whether or not this is actually rabbit stew,
okay. Just checking. I don't buy it.
But we do get quite a good bit of exposition from her, because rather than it just being like an info dump, it's like a nice little conversation between them.
I wrote that in my notes, that this is very organic. Their conversation flows, yet filled with exposition.
Yeah. Although I do question as to why her linguistic ability is not on a par with the other villagers.
She does seem a little stunted, yes.
Yeah.
A little slow there.
Like, when she's saying, like, you know, Dad had told me to bring you food. It's like, okay, fair enough. And then she's like, you eat stew. And down in the village, they were telling you there's no garage for a few miles. So I don't know. Maybe she just like didn't like hanging around them. So, you know.
I was gonna say, I would think you'd pick it up just by hanging around them the proper way that they speak. Yeah, I always thought that was bizarre. Even as a kid, I picked that up. Yeah. Why doesn't she talk like the rest of them?
But there is the way I love that this is framed is Luna's exposition of what a ghoul is, how they get their food, and that is so wonderfully innocent, because she says the food comes in boxes. It's like, oh, okay, fair enough. Food comes in boxes. Even back in the 80s, you could get a food delivery, no problem. Like the local grocer or whatever, it'd send you your meat and that. And then it's like, okay, so what boxes? Like, oh yeah, no, we get our clothes from the boxes, we get our food from the boxes, and we get wood from the boxes, and then it shows you this chest of drawers, which looks perfectly innocent until you realise that the handles are coffin handles.
Right?
Yeah. And then you get a look out the window, and the graveyard of the chapel, all the graves are open.
Yes, it hits you like, what?
Yeah. The way that's written and the way it's delivered by Luna is just this wonderful dissonance of her innocence of what she's doing, because she's grown up here. It's perfectly fine to her. Yeah. You know, she's half ghoul anyway, and into like mythologically, ghouls are living creatures that eat human corpses.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's like this wonderful, almost playful way of her explaining it to this guy for whom it's an utterly abhorrent thing.
Yeah, and he seems adequately surprised. He seems correctly disgusted by learning this information. Like his reaction is appropriate to what he is figuring out here, which I like.
At present, yes.
So he devises a plan. He's going to escape, and he's going to hide in the church where the graveyard is. He learns the history of the ghouls from snooping through the books there. Yep. And at nightfall, Luna comes over and joins him. And he says, I'll take you with me when I leave, which was so sweet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we have a hero turn here. The guy's going to not be a dick, and he's going to help her.
I mean...
Uh-oh, we got mixed feelings over here.
Well, it is kind of sweet, except for the way he rationalizes it. Because, again, we have a perfectly sweet interaction, and, you know, says about, you know, Luna says, I want to ride on the underground and I want to see all this. And she's got this, even though she's clearly in her 20s, she's got this childlike awe of the outside, as she calls it. And he's saying, "Oh yeah, I'll take you away from here, and yeah, we'll go see the big city. We'll do everything that a pretty girl like you should do." Really, dude? That's why you're saving her. Not that she's innocent, not that you think she's got like a chance out in the outside world because she's pretty. Because again, like, you say earlier, he has a perfectly reasonable reaction to the revelation that they eat corpses. And Luna, revelation that she eats corpses. Don't bother you because she's pretty?
Yeah, what is the thing here? Because is he thinking take her on kind of like a surrogate daughter situation, or
Yeah.
no, more nefarious
Yeah,
than that?
you can get away with a lot of stuff in the big city, but I'm fairly certain because it's implied that the eating of corpses is actually essential. Like, because they have like their big feasts and everything, and they get like the delivery of the boxes and that.
Mm-hmm.
So, how essential is it to Luna being only half good? Does she need to eat human flesh? Could she like make do with a raw steak? You know,
Unclear. Yes.
yeah. So his logic is fundamentally flawed because it's like, I get it because she seems human in this village of monsters. I get that connection. But you also have to think, aside from the logic of, hey, she's pretty, is how exactly is she going to integrate outside of this creepy village?
See, also a sequel we could use. How does Luna fare in the outside world? But sadly, we don't get that chance to find out
No.
because they take off from the church. She's got a cross. They're going to make a run for it. They're getting rocks thrown at them.
Some of them are using slings.
Yes, I hate the music in this scene. This music does not fit. The rest of the movie, they've done fine. This music doesn't fit this chase scene at all. It's kind of hokey and silly to me when it's supposed to be a tense chase scene.
Yeah. And to be fair, the camera work isn't exactly helping either.
Totally. And it's been one director this whole time. It's not like the anthology, like each story is by a different director.
Yeah.
He's done the whole thing. So yeah, it seems different. You're right.
Yeah. Like you get a bit where obviously they're running and the mob is chasing them, and they're obviously doing it as separate shots done together. So there's a sense of distance between them. That's absolutely fine. But you get a bit where like they run through these bushes and he wedges his cross against this gap in the bushes so that the ghouls can't get through because like they're repelled by the holy cross. But he takes like a good 10-15 seconds to get it in there,
Yeah.
And then the thing that really gets me about this is they run off, the ghouls see the cross, they shy away from it, and they're just like, oh shit, we'll go around.
Yes.
Like, it slows them down for all of like 10 seconds.
Yep. Which he wasted trying to position it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They made up ground. And they start hurling rocks at them. They make it just through the fog and they get rocks thrown at them. And one hits Luna in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
She falls down and says she's dying because her back is broken. What?
Yeah. Yeah. You could try and argue that it's her, because obviously she's like portrayed as this sort of more childlike character, despite being in her 20s. And like it might be her limited understanding because she says, it's like when Dada throws a rock at a rabbit and the rabbit dies. So she understands the mortality of the situation.
True.
Yeah. She has just taken a rock at the back of the head, which isn't her back. And I don't know if you've ever experienced being hit in the head with a rock. Like,
not lately.
Not lately, but I have by certain accidents. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not dead.
I did notice. I did.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. I get that. The rock doesn't like convincingly crack into the back of her head.
Nope.
It just kind of
yes. Like... She is dying. He says, I'll go get help. He kisses her hand, and then she dies ever so peacefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's how you die, being mildly inconvenienced from a rock. Anyway.
Right? Yeah, mild. Yeah, like a mild concussion at best, I would think, or at worst. So he makes it to the road. He's picked up by a cop car. They don't speak to him at first, which was weird. And he asks to be taken to the police station. He mentions the village, and the car turns around and doesn't take him to the police station, takes him to the village. He realizes there's a truck following them, a big truck and another car. And they start to talk to him and say, hey, we always give the elders a police escort when they return to the village. Wah wah.
Yeah.
You're in trouble now, bro.
Yep. And then he looks behind. There's a fancy, looks like a Bentley or maybe a Rolls. And then a big van following him, which is obviously the boxes delivery.
The meat wagon.
Yep, pretty much. And they roll into the village, and all the villagers are just standing there, with shit-eating grins, like, hey, mate, how's it going?
It's scary to me when they all start clamoring on the car, and they're
yeah. And then the police officers turn around, and they've got sharp teeth.
Yes, a little better than the werewolf from the club, but not much.
Yeah. That does lead us to another question, though, which is, if the police not only know about the elders, but are ghouls themselves, why was it so difficult for Luna to just go leave anyway? Because there's communities of ghouls outside. Because she not just rocked up to the elders and been like, okay, so this place, there's not much to do here. We've dug up all the bodies, and there's apparently a guy who knows how to wreck a car, even though there's no cars, but anyway. So I'm feeling a little bit stifled and it's a bit boring. So maybe you could take me out of the village and maybe we could go visit Uncle and Auntie Ghoul in London or something.
Right. Or where the elders came from somewhere else. Where do they live?
Yeah, exactly. This is it. Could you not get a lift, go visit the family for a weekend,
Right.
Or if the church is such an issue, get an outside demolition crew to get rid of the church.
Put a lot of thought into this.
I'm awful for watching movies with.
Oh, that's hysterical. Because I do the same thing. I go through the thought process in my head of well, what could we do differently here?
Yeah, that's the thing. Especially being a writer, that's the thought process you need to have. So I will be watching some movies and be like, see, I wouldn't have done it that way.
1,000%. So I write screenplays as a hobby. Never done anything with them. I just write them. And so I'm watching the new I Know What You Did Last Summer yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I wrote a better ending than actually played out, because I'm sitting there with my friend and I'm like, ooh, it should be this, this, and this. And she's like, okay. And it totally did not happen like that. I said, see, I wrote a better ending just right now off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So I do that too. I can't help it.
Yeah, I did that with the Zack Snyder Justice League.
Oh, really?
Just a straight up terrible movie anyway. But to keep myself even vaguely engaged with this utter shit show of a movie, I was rewriting it as we went.
Oh my God.
So yeah, because I play a game with myself for certain terrible movies, right? Where you essentially rewrite the movie, but you can't change any of the main plot beats. You have to work within the basic confines of the script as given and see if you can do something better. And
I like that game.
It's a great thought exercise because it lets you think about things from a different angle,
All right. So yeah, that story's wrapped now. Mm-hmm. And so we quickly cut back to the club. Aramis tells Hayes, well, that actually didn't happen. That story. It's just something that I think I heard. Well, you just told him you were going to tell him a real story.
Yeah.
Apparently it wasn't. And then he says he wants to nominate Hayes for membership to the club. You need to be a member. He's not immortal, I guess. So that doesn't make sense to me, but they justify it by Aramis giving this really cool explanation to everybody of why a human should be part of the club.
Yeah. Because as is the persistent narrative of horror movies everywhere, the real monsters are the humans all along.
He gives a detailed history of how humans have killed each other over the centuries. And this is one thing that makes me laugh about this movie, which is part of the charm of this movie to me, is Vincent Price looking at the cue cards while he's giving his speech.
Yes.
You've noticed this, right? Because it's so obvious. He'll be talking and then he'll look and stare and say something and then look around for a minute and then look and stare and say something.
The
It's because
thing
it's a
is,
lot.
oh yeah, like it is a long thing. Like Vincent Price was knocking on a bit then, like, you know. So it's fair enough. Like it's a long, and it's a really good speech as well. And he delivers it
True.
like as you would expect Vincent Price to deliver it, because he's one of those actors who absolutely commands the scene. Him, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, those three guys, any of those are in a scene, you have no doubt who is controlling that scene. Like,
100%.
and even though, as you say, it's really obvious that he's reading cue cards, still manages it.
Yes.
But the thing about like seeing an actor reading cue cards is some actors are really good at it. Like there's the famous, do you know the bit about Lord of the Rings?
No.
Oh, okay. So the famous bit with Sean Bean, the bit where one does not simply walk into Mordor. Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to
Reason-
disparage Sean Bean, are we? Come on.
Absolutely
I love
not.
him. Okay.
Sean Bean's fantastic. Like, we'll not say a word against him. Like, he's done some great movies, he's done some terrible movies, but which actors haven't?
He's died in a lot of things that I like.
Exactly. But here's the thing. This is a masterclass in reading cue cards because he did not have the script at that point. So all the stuff he's doing, where he's like this, the script is taped to his knee.
Get out of here.
Absolutely true. That's why he keeps looking down.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's a game changer for the next time I watch it. I'm going to notice that now.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, that's the good way of doing it.
Right.
But if you notice the bad way of doing it, it's like, it's kind of like the Wilhelm scream. Once you hear it, you always hear it.
Right.
But once you notice the way people obviously read cue cards, you see it everywhere.
Yeah, it's glaring in this film. But again, part of the charm for me. What also I thought was funny was he's going on this very, like you mentioned, long, excellent read of why humans are bad. And monsters have existed on this earth for how long? And you're trying to tell me that they didn't know this already?
The thing is, though, this is one bit about the speech for me, right? He says, in their short time on this planet. A lot of the stuff he mentions, he's specifically saying over the last 60 years, so from the 1920s onwards. That implies that vampires, whose food source is humans, predate humans.
You're
So
breaking my brain right now. That's a good point. Like, wow, yeah, what were they?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
and also ghouls. When did ghouls come about? Because food from boxes hasn't always been a thing either. Wow, you're really making me think this. I don't want to think this hard for this movie.
This is one of the dangers of having that kind of mind, though. You know?
That's funny. Okay. Well, we cut to shots of people in the crowd listening to him. And my favorite terrible, terrible mask isn't even a mask. It's just a dude with a green party wig on. He's supposed to be you notice this guy, right? I'm like, where's his mask? Like, he's not a monster. He's just got a green party wig. Okay. So he gets approved. Hayes is approved to join the club. We kick off with the song The Monster Club by Pretty Things, and it's kind of a reggae sound to it.
Yeah, it totally doesn't match the ending of a movie.
No. And the dancing, Vincent Price dancing with this one chick is really wanting to dance with him, this bigger gal. And he's
fair
making
enough, it's Vincent Price, come on.
He's making a face like, oh, I guess I'm dancing with her now. And I was like, what is this? Was this improv? Like, what's happening in this scene?
More than likely. But you tell me right now, if you were that lady in that scene and you got the chance to dance with Vincent Price, you would take it.
1000% yes.
I would freaking take it. Just to be the guy who danced with Vincent Price in the Monster Club.
Give me that wig, I'm in.
Exactly.
So we get a lot of close-ups of rubber masks, and we get lots of masks, which I thought were funny, that had multiple sets of eyes. And you can see that the rubber part, like the neck is showing, like it's clearly a mask, and they don't give a fuck at this point.
Yeah, like there's a couple of them who are wearing like high neck jumpers or t-shirts, and they've got it tucked in. Like they made a bit of an effort, but there's so many of them where it's just like there, just you can see the edge of the mask, you can see the eye holes, you can see they probably can't breathe.
They're selling it. So the song
They're selling
ends.
something.
The song ends and we fade out onto a shot of the cover art from the novel The Monster Club, which I never knew until I bought the book. That's the cover art.
I've literally learned that now.
Yep. You're welcome. You were today years old, as the memes
Yep.
say. Monsters Rule OK plays again, and the movie ends. And that is The Monster Club. Thoughts, feelings overall. I mean, no secret that I find this movie delightful.
Oh yeah, this and all the other movies of this type, the Amicus anthology movies, have such a place in my heart. I've seen all of them. I've got most of them on DVD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They are just so my thing. It's like the multiple stories and the way you get so many weird and wonderful takes on things that realistically shouldn't be horror. And yet these British actors are bringing it to you,
Yeah.
I love this movie and everything about it, even the stuff that I technically shouldn't.
Yeah, it feels like it feels like it would be a guilty pleasure movie, but that would mean that I try to keep it a secret that I love it, and I don't want to keep this a secret. I think everybody should watch this movie.
Exactly. I don't have guilty pleasures. If you enjoy something, unless it's illegal, enjoy it wholeheartedly.
Embrace it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you do that, you find movies like this, and then you
That's
get
so
to inflict them
true.
on your friends.
So this one actually won an audience award in 1981 at Fanta Festival. I don't know what that is, but it won an award. I was shocked to learn that. And then usually at the top, I run down the IMDb plot so that we kind of know what we're in for, but I didn't feel the need to do it at the top of this episode. I'll read it now. It's very straightforward. The IMDb plot for this is the writer of horror stories gets invited to a monster club by a mysterious gentleman. 3 gruesome tales are told to him, and between each story, we get musicians playing their songs. That's the movie.
I mean, they're not wrong.
They don't make it sound exciting, but they're not wrong.
No. I mean, it could do with, like some
up?
kind of actual, like spruce it up a bit, maybe,
Give it a punch up. Okay, that's your new mission. Punch up the IMDb. Anybody can write on IMDb now, just so you know.
Yeah, I've got a page on IMDb.
So do I. So there. Mr. Fancy
Well,
Pants.
Well, I mean, no, I'm not trying to be fancy. I'm saying if even I have a page on IMDb.
You're like, I'm not bragging. All right, so I want to wrap up my show this season. I'm doing a little differently. I'm running down a couple of reviews that I found, and I just want to read them to you. They're quick little bits and the ratings, and then get your thoughts or feedback on what these people had to say.
Okay.
So this first one is very short and to the point. They say, if you love classic horror, this movie is a truly obscene experience. 1 star. Is that a good review or a bad review?
I'm not sure what they mean by obscene, because I don't think it's the same definition as I have. Because there is no obscenity in this movie whatsoever, unless you count a tiny bit of almost nudity and a song about a stripper.
Yeah, good point. So another 1 star says, this film belongs in the bin with such gems as Abbott and Costello meet insert Universal Monster here and Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders. 1 star. I'm not familiar with Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders.
No, I'm only vaguely aware of Abbott and Costello, to be fair.
I am too, but I'm fond of that. So, and I'm fond of this, so maybe there's something there. I don't know.
Yeah, because the thing is, that person seems to be disparaging both this movie and Abbott and Costello. So pretty much the opposite of your opinion.
All right, so this one kills me. This one was actually written in 2015, this review, over 30 years after the release of this film, okay?
Uh-huh.
And they say, this movie is dated. 3 stars.
Again, not wrong.
But what do you expect when you watch a movie that's over 30 years old?
Yeah.
Of course it's dated.
Yeah, this is it. It's like watching like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and saying the sound's awful.
Fair, yes. All right, so this this third one, a good film to see in Halloween. 3 stars. In
Okay.
Halloween. Okay.
I suspect it means at Halloween or on Halloween. But
Oh, some of these are written so crazy. I always like to read them word for word because I'm like, what?
yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's not a bad Halloween movie.
Right? It's a good one to pull out. It's spooky season.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the next one, I especially loved the Shadmock story. 5 stars out of 5.
Yeah, I'm on board with that because, as I say, I'm fairly certain that the Shabmock was like an original creation. So, you know.
Oh, so I was going to ask you too, and I forgot of the 3 stories and the wraparound story. So the 4 tales we get basically this movie tells. Which is your favorite?
So, for all my criticism of it, I definitely think the Shabmock because it's something original. It does give you like a solid story. It really does give you that. It's got that emotional depth to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect the only thing that lets it down is how dated in terms of the attitudes. Because I know for a fact at the time, people would absolutely have considered Angela to be in the wrong. Like that was just the attitude of the time. And looking at it through a more modern lens, it's a bit more like, really, did you have to go that far? You know?
Yeah.
Bit much, mate. She knocked you back. I get you're upset, but maybe don't.
Maybe don't whistle.
Yeah, you know. But for all the flaws and for all the things like, you know, he's hideous, he has a bad haircut and poor tasting clothes. At its heart, it is a good story. Not that the other ones were bad stories. I mean, the ghoul story, a bit too shallow for my tastes.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot of questions. But yeah, I'd say like the Shadmock is my favorite on this one.
Okay. To give a short-winded explanation, agreed. Shadmock is mine too. Agreed. Everything you said. Okay, so 2 more. So this one is the short stories aren't bad. The bands that played between the stories are painful. 3 stars.
As previously said,
painful.
I would say so. Monsters Rule OK is I am indifferent. It's a slice of the 80s. Sucker for Your Love is just cringe inducing. Like, why? The Monster Club song is, I'm guessing you guys were all high when you got this and just turned up, did whatever you felt like at the time, and then like never spoke of it again. But the stripper, I fucking love that song. It's amazing.
Agreed.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, if I had a full album of something similar to that in that vein, absolutely listen to it. I'm fairly certain that Stevie Langer as well is still about. She's a voice coach now, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so she's like still working, still doing the vocal stuff. So
okay, good for her.
Yeah.
Okay, and last one, they say, okay, this is not the movie I thought it was. LOL, 1 star. What other
were you
movies?
expecting?
Yeah, what other movies called The Monster Club? What did they think they were watching? I don't know. Have you heard of another Monster Club movie?
I think I might have actually. I think there's a mid-80s action comedy that's called something like that. I remember seeing it once, and the only scene I remember is there's a scene where a couple of kids are being menaced by the Wolfman, and one of the kids says, "Kick him in the nards." And he says, "Wolfman doesn't have nards." Yeah.
The Monster Squad.
Squad, that's the one, yeah.
They probably thought they were turning that on.
Quite possibly.
You could be right there. Also a fucking banger of a movie. I love that movie.
I've not seen it in ages, so I probably need to go back and watch it again.
Okay, this is your firm nudge to go watch The Monster Squad. Go do it. All right, well, that is wrapping up our discussion on the Monster Club. Please tell the listeners, if you would like, about your projects you have going on, or where they can find you. I did watch the short directed by Lee Bolton that you wrote called Table Service.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 5 minutes. Everybody go find it. It's a fun watch. I was like, what? This needs to be like a full story. 5 minutes was not enough.
Oh, it is a full story in the whole universe as well.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's part of an extended thing that I'm writing. So yeah, I am actually on YouTube under Nate Mayer. I'm on Instagram at Nate_Mayer. I do various writings, horror, fantasy, and sci-fi mostly. Do a lot of writing competitions, which I really should be writing for one now, but here we are.
Oh, sorry, I kept you from that.
Oh no, it's absolutely fine. And yeah, as I say, if you would like to go check me out on YouTube, Instagram, I am on Facebook, but mostly inactive because it's Facebook. Yeah, hopefully I will actually get around to finishing actual novels and things at some point so people can buy my stuff.
That would be, yeah. Well, from what I saw, I mean, I'm interested to delve in and read more of your stuff. So hopefully you can get some of that done. Listeners, I will put links to everything in the show notes so that you can find Nate. And thank you so much for being here for this crazy movie that we both love. This was a joy.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. It's been fun.
All right, listeners, like I said, you can check this out free on Tubi and Pluto TV, as well as pay streaming on YouTube and some other places. Thank you so, so much for going on this journey with us with the Monster Club. And until next time, goodbye.
What's this? Oh, that's a monster's genealogical chart. You see, first we have the primate monsters, vampires, werewolves, and ghouls. Now, a vampire and a werewolf would produce a were-vamp. But a werewolf and a ghoul would produce a were-ghoul. But a vampire and a ghoul would produce a vam-ghoul. A were-ghoul and a were-vamp would produce a shaddy. Now, a were-ghoul and a vam-ghoul would produce a maddie. But a were-vamp and a vam-ghoul would produce a ratty. Now, if a shaddy were to mate with a ratty or a maddie, the results would be a muck. A muck? Frankly, that's just the polite name for a mongrel. You know, it's quite simple, really. All you have to do is remember the basic rules of monsterdom. Vampires sup, werewolves hunt, ghouls tear. Shaddies lick, baddies yawn, mocks blow. But shadmucks only whistle. Shadmucks? If a muck were to mate with any of the other hybrids, their offsprings would be called shadmucks. And they only whistle. Well, they don't do it very often. Doesn't sound too terrifying. Oh, but you should see the results of a shadmuck's whistling. I'll be back.
Get the fuck out of here!
No, I cannot.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Why don't you get the fuck out of here?
Well, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here!
Hey, listeners, Movie Miss here. Listen, I know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so thank you for listening to the show. I know everybody says this, but for a fledgling little show like ours that's just hanging on, it would really help us if you could subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Good Pods. We're also on Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. It would really help us grow the show and reach more people if you could subscribe and then rate and review, which is really the key part of it. Make sure to be part of our bad movie conversation by following us on social media. Interact with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Movie Miss, which is movie_miss. The show is on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Also on Blue Sky at Let's Talk Turkeys and Facebook. You can also chat with like-minded bad movie lovers in our Facebook discussion group. Also, hit me up on socials if you want to be a guest on the show. Always looking for guests. I can assign you a movie, something we think is fun, or you can bring a movie that you think is a bad movie if it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, or you just really don't like the movie but you like to talk about it. That's half the fun, I think. Again, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Without you, the show wouldn't still be kicking around. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.